So people always ask, how am I financially able to just move to Panama? Didn't it cost me a lot of money to move? How am I able to take care of myself? What is my income streams? Now, I will say this first. Yes, I was working and living in Maryland, DC, which is crazy expensive. And I would say I was living a pretty decent life. Traveled at least 4 times a year, did a lot of local travel, and that was international travel, did a lot of local trips as well, did a lot of entertaining, going out, played golf, and that has a really heavy ticket on it. So yes, while I had a job that actually provided, I also at the same time was building passive income, even before I was thinking that I was going to retire. I also only lived off of 50% of my salary. So 50% of my salary was going already into investments and savings. And while I do love to shop, I actually spent a whole year of don't buy any clothes. And believe it or not, it wasn't as hard as I thought. We don't always need a new outfit every single time we're going out. But we'll talk about that later. So one of the things I didn't even realize, and I had to hear it from one of my buddies when I was saying, hey, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but I was still kind of just figuring out was, aren't you going to collect your Social Security? Totally forgot. Didn't even think about it. I don't know, it just kind of like left my mind that I would be eligible for Social Security. Sometimes we think we're so young, we forgot that we're not as young. We forget we're not as necessarily as young as we think that we are. And so therefore, I had that available to me because I've been working since 14, probably just like you. And so I had that income. And then I also forgot, I was already collecting a pension from my private organization. And so where I had worked before, and had left, I was also able to collect a pension from there because I had spent the many years there. And so sometimes we really think that we don't have any money, but we forget how many 401ks have you actually contributed to? Do you have your IRA account? So we do have money stashed away, but sometimes we totally forget about it. And so one of the things that I had been very adamant about was also participating in my 401k. And so I have that fund as well. And so when I decided to take the leap, I gave myself a number. So while I didn't know exactly what I was going to do for income immediately, I knew I had enough cushion from my savings and my investments that I could at least survive. I also gave myself a number, and that number was, if I hit this number, Houston, you're gonna have a problem. And you're gonna need to do something now to really bring in income. Maybe you're gonna have to look for a job or whatever. So I had given myself that number. But I also had passive income because for the last 5 years, I have been a landlord. I've been doing short-term rentals. And I started that during the pandemic, which was absolutely the best time. And so while I know a lot of people sell all of their property, they sell everything before they come, you gotta think about if that's a good idea for you. Because for me, I didn't see any reason for me to sell my home. And I'm glad I didn't, because that home has been providing steady income through short-term rentals, long-term rentals, medium rentals. It has been providing steady income. And so I also had that investment. So you have to think about, in your case, what investments, what savings do you have? And one of the things that we do within our Bougie Expat community is we talk about investments. We talk about ways to bring in income while we have moved abroad. And not necessarily from working, but just from other things. One of the things I have done over the years is we've become a hard money lender. And so if you have in your account, substantial savings, and you're thinking to yourself, you're not gonna spend it all in 1 year. right? I don't know what you have in your account, but you're probably not going to spend it all in 1 year. Have you thought about becoming a hard money lender? And we'll do a video later on about all the different ways that you can generate money, especially from like IRAs. There's self-directed IRAs that allows you to make investments. So I want you to think about that. If you don't think you have enough money, you probably do. You just don't know how to tap into it. And you probably don't know how to use what you have to make more money. You know, we have this nest egg that we put aside, and all we want to do is withdraw from it. But sometimes we can withdraw from it to live and withdraw from it to give us a greater return. Because let's tell the truth, savings account, 401ks, these accounts are not really paying us in the numbers of interest that we need to survive. So what are other ways that you can invest your income? So I want you to think about that. If you are on the fence, wondering if you have enough money to retire, I want you to contact me. Let's talk about how you can invest that money. Let's talk about how you can make more money, because you don't have to move and be in financial woes. And think about this, when you move, it's also going to cost you less. And I'm going to talk about that in the next video. So make sure you see that video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the notifications button so you know when those videos drop. Until then, make sure you're living an elevated life.